I provided you with the budget projections and the priorities. These were shared with our Technology Advisory Committee. Not much new there. Again, re-emphasizing the teacher laptop, importance of having tools in our classrooms, access to up-to-date computers for students, wireless, staffing, and professional development. We've got about a $1.8 million budget. Most of our budget goes out to the schools to support their equipment and their networks. About 50%, over 50% goes directly to the schools to support their technology. Looks to be about 35% goes to support the network and all of the complexities involved with our 79 plus wiring closets and switches and routers and all that. And what that does is that leaves us about $48,000 to think about anything new. So that leads us to this next slide, talking about our unfunded technology proposals. As we look at it, the middle school teacher laptop lease would cost us about $90,000 a year on an annual lease. And that's let's see, that is a 3-year lease, and there'd be a little bit of extra funding needed in that 4th year for some break fix on that. Looking at, and I'm cut off by my own clock there. Real close to wrapping up. Knew that would happen. Elementary school teacher laptop lease, again, using our current model. These are estimates based on the $300 a year type formula for having a laptop. About $170,000 a year for providing every elementary school teacher with a laptop. Multimedia interactive classrooms. This is a figure that we pulled from last year. I realize we brought in several smart boards into our district. Some of those, may have been brought in without audio. This is the dollar figure that it would take to bring up all of our classrooms with the preferred solution of the smart board, interactive technology, document camera, and audio. The refreshing of 1/5 of our computers, again, this may not necessarily be a valid figure anymore if we're thinking about refresh differently. I think that the use of netbooks is going to help us get more bang for our buck there. Installing wireless in middle schools, as I mentioned, we're hoping to move forward with wireless in all middle schools. We have the funding to do 3 of those, maybe 4. This $47,000 here is something we may have to dip into new money in July to finish up that fourth middle school. Installing wireless access in the elementaries, as you see there, $375,000. Our operating costs have gone up, especially with the Cisco lease that we signed several years ago to maintain our district's switches. So we're short about $177,000 based on where we were several years ago. As I mentioned, we have an aging telephone system need in many of our schools, and it causes a lot of frustration, and it's always an emergency because phones are a very critical thing for schools. So when one of those goes out, it always puts us in a reactive mode rather than a proactive mode. And so this $203,000 is, if we would outfit maybe 2 or 3 schools every year. Again, we're talking about a potential lease that we could just do them all and pay that same amount every year. So we'll probably be hearing a little bit more about that. And then there's 2 projects at the bottom there. Altiris is a solution that's used in many districts across the country to help manage all these workstations that are out there with all the desktops and all the programs. There's better ways to manage and support those. And we certainly do want to get involved with virtualization. And we're starting right now to look at some administrative programs. Instead of having 8 or 9 servers, they could all be compressed into one server, and you'd have a savings of electricity, heating and cooling, all of those things. So that's our list of unfunded. The critical challenges, and these I can very briefly just state that they align with our technology plan. We need to focus on a 21st century curriculum. Professional development is a real need out there. We're all challenged with keeping up to date with everything that we need to know about technology, and we don't have a classroom full of 30 students to deal with every day. So it's a big learning curve. Equipping our schools with current technology, the staffing I pointed out is just a critical need, and then implementing new models. So, in closing, I realize that my closing comments in the memo that I provided you may appear to be a little bit self-serving, but however, I feel my job is to be an advocate for technology, for change, and for the positive impacts that I believe technology can have on our instructional mission. And as Clayton Christensen mentions in his closing, now is not the time to let our current situation preempt our continued investment in technology. And I'd like to propose that investing in technology and the resources needed to effectively support the technology and the people that are earnestly trying to make this work, investing in those types of solutions may be somewhat disruptive to our status quo, but it may also be the most prudent use of our funds. I think that's it.
Thank you, Ray.